as I go into the corkscrew again. You haven't seen anything. That was not a shortcut. That was just optimal esport racing line. Welcome to the season finale of our 1997 FIA GT Championship in Automobilista 2, which will take place at Laguna Seca, and as both championships are already decided in our favor, this is all about having a fun little race to end this season. In real life, the title fight was still on, and to have better chances, the two lead BMW McLaren drivers Soper and Lehto split up as Lehto joined the number 9 of Peter Cox in this race, but it was ultimately an unsuccessful title bid as they both failed to score points, while Bernd Schneider in the number 11 won this race yet again, while Porsche had a good race with a double podium. As for our race, I will set myself a modest target today, which is just finishing on the podium to spray some champagne as a nice send-off for this season. Once again, we start this race where the number 9 McLaren actually started this one, which is P7. And as you see the second page of the starting grid, it is time to go racing one final time this season. And around the final corner we go. Once again, flying start, and away we are for race 10 of the 1997 FIA GT Championship. We are going side by side with Ralf Kellernas in the Rook Porsche into the Andretti hairpin, which works quite okay for us as we are past that customer Porsche, and now we are behind our former title rival, though he never really was that close. Ever after the Nürburgring race, we have been running away from him. Thierry Boutsen now in the final point scoring position. Again, this is a shorter race, 45 minutes, as this one was only 3 hours in real life compared to 4 hours, which was the distance of all the other races except for Sebring. So shorter race this one, which means the Porsches will again have a massive fuel advantage as they can extend their first stint, then stop late and way shorter for less fuel. So they, as pretty much every race, have the strategic advantage. But this time we can just relax and try to have a good one here, as we don't need to think about many things. Into the final corner we go for a very, very late move. It is a dive bomb. Thierry Boutsen opens the door as we shove our way through. Yeah. Boutsen will not be too pleased about this. But, sometimes you just have to lick the stamp and send it, and send some prayers as well, just in case. We did just that as we move up to P6, and now we are behind Pedro Lamy in the privately entered Schüberrennsport Porsche. They had a decent season as well. Good result in the previous race and very good result in the first race of the season where they stood on the podium. As we're going for another move into the Andretti hairpin, we get a run on them on the main straight. Down the inside we go. Pretty much a straightforward move. And the next car is actually the number 27 Parabolica McLaren, driven by Chris Goodwin. And let's see how that battle goes. And we made some easy work of Goodwin, and are immediately chasing Bernd Schneider in the number 11 Mercedes now. Again, Mercedes looking strong pace-wise. They have been struggling on strategy, but they got things right in the last couple of races, as they already have 2 wins on the board. They won Donington and they won Sebring. So when we didn't win, it was a Mercedes lately. Now we're getting a good run on Schneider, as it gets very, very close there, breaking into the corkscrew. Laguna Seca's signature corner, and one of the greatest corners in the world. In general, I must say Laguna Seca, probably my favorite racetrack in the United States. Such a nice flow, old school track with hills all around it, as we go for an accidental send there. As you were able to hear there, I locked the tire quite massively. Yeah, I had to go for a move that I was originally not going for, as this time I released the brakes a bit into the Andretti hairpin, and there is a bit of side-by-side contact, but nothing out of the ordinary in terms of GT racing, and we are through and up to the podium positions. Well, and from there it took me quite a while to get close to the battle for the race lead, even though they were just a couple of seconds up the road. Well, here we are with over half race distance already run, or almost half race distance run. Oh, embarrassing quick maths there by me. Yeah, we're now there, and Mailander and Steve Soper, they are having quite the intense battle of their own, and we are in the best spot in the house to watch that battle. Well, and I hope I didn't overpromise, but this is quite the feisty battle that is going on there. They're trying to send it absolutely everywhere. Steve Soper now on the outside for the next corner. This might be an opportunity if we are close enough, but Soper actually moves ahead of Mailander in an incredible move round the outside. This allows us an opportunity. This is a pretty quick left-hander. We get our car alongside the Mercedes CLK GTR, but we don't really find our way past Mailander. As again, we have a bit of a look into the corkscrew, but yeah, it's difficult if you're not fully alongside into the braking. Then I had a look in the wrong corner there, but Mailander getting a fantastic run out of the final corner. And that should be the race lead back to Mercedes again. So 1 Mercedes against 2 McLaren BMWs. For now, we're demoted to the position of a watcher. But that could change at any time. Well, not if I do that. Got a wheel on the grass there. Now they're quite far up the road again. Yeah, but as said, any moment anything could happen to these two, as also Soper goes 2 wheels off the road. Some dirt kicking back on the racing line, and this was a poor run that he got there. He missed the apex. We get a fantastic run towards the corkscrew. Not good enough to get alongside though. But we're close again. Here I struggle a bit staying close to them. Almost a bit too early on the power. And then the final corner could be an opportunity if I am close enough. It is a bit of a daring surprise move, but it is definitely possible. And then of course Andretti hairpin and yeah, the corkscrew obviously. These are our main opportunities, but we don't manage to be close enough at these opportunities. In turn, Steve Soper is trying to get a wheel alongside the Mercedes. Ooh, a bit on the sausage curb there. He lost momentum, so Mailander stays in the lead for now. We're also getting closer to our pit stop. I think just, let's say, 3 more laps until we have to come in. And then, yeah, let's see what this battle does as soon as the pit stops happen. Let's enjoy it while it lasts. Oh, again, bit of a weird spot to have a look for Soper. Then again, I do exactly the same weird attempt there. Soper goes off the road. We have a bit of a lockup, bit of a flat spot now on the front left. Shouldn't be a problem as we brake late into the corkscrew. Tires squealing under braking, but we are past our teammates, and now we are chasing Bernd Mailander for the race lead. But, well, what can I say? As already announced, this is 2 laps later now, indeed. We are approaching our pit stop. Not close enough to try anything against Mailander. And interestingly, we're the first ones to come in. I would not have been able to do another lap on that fuel load. So that's interesting. Usually we're one of the last ones, except the Porsches, to pit. This time we've burnt more fuel than those around us. We come out with cold tires, so we need to be careful on this outlap, but we have a clear track ahead. Well, this is the end of our outlap. No issues to get the tires up to temperature though in these warm early autumn temperatures here in California. But you see someone coming out of the pits ahead of us. That is actually one of the Golf McLarens, Andrew Gilbert Scott. And he was not running in the top 10 before his pit stops. Close to, but not in the top 10. So this is bad news. And I think the issue is that I have overfueled the car, so it was stationary for too long. And I lost a lot of time in that pit stop. So, the final stint of this season will be one to fight back. And we are beginning to do so. Good run against Gilbert Scott. Into the corkscrew we go. And we are past. No issues there. He also struggles with tire temperatures as he just came out of the pits. But that is not good news. We are in P20. That one will get better soon-ish, I believe. Because the Porsches will still come in. And I think a lot of them will actually come out ahead of us. But definitely not all of them. But this is bad. I think we're out of the top 10 right now. Even when everybody did their pit stop. So, yeah, let's just try and push as hard as we can. But isn't that nice? Another challenge. Not running the race to the end, trying to save some fuel in P1. Actually, we have to battle our way back to the front. And I would say points, well, maybe a point scoring position is not off the cards. Podium, our target. Well, I think we messed that one up by being in the pits for too long. But let's see and just try to have fun these last 10 minutes and 45 seconds as I go into the corkscrew again. You haven't seen anything. That was not a shortcut. That was just optimal esport racing line. And that, well, that was just bad. Too early on the power, while still steering, and yeah, spun the car around, off into the gravel. At least we stay out of the walls, but this is even worse now. Andrew Gilbert-Scott is back through, and Akichi Tsuchiya in the Lark McLaren, and it has taken us some time to get back close to him. We gained another couple of positions because now the Porsches have been in, but I think P18, that is pretty much it. This is the position that we are running in, and we're fighting for P17 to finish this race there. Dear oh dear. That afternoon has turned sour pretty quickly. 1 minute you're trying to fight for the race lead. Just not even 10 minutes later you're battling for P17 because you mess up a pit stop and you have a spin. Unusual spot to get past Tsuchiya there. But he is really not too quick in that Japanese-entered McLaren F1 GTR. And then we were close to the next car. Actually, there was another car in the pit, so we're up to P16 now. So P15 could still be possible, and then there are 3 more cars. Well, there would have been 3 more cars. But again, I'm too early on the power on the prospect of trying to get a good run out of there to pass Marabaldi in the Conrad Porsche. But actually, we dropped down back behind Tsuchiya, P17. And now we're even being challenged by Alan McNeish in the 3rd Works Porsche, who is racing in a lowly 18th. But at least we managed to stay out of him, even though he has a little look down our inside there. Well, undoubtedly, we have a quick car. In theory, we would have had the pace to win this one, but, well, we absolutely didn't. Fastest lap, personal fastest lap and fastest lap of the race is what we just said in that penultimate lap. And this then is the last lap of this race, and indeed of the season. But we are somewhat close to Tsuchiya. Maybe there's still an opportunity for a last lap pass to finish this one in P16. And I'm giving it absolutely everything to get past that McLaren. This is just so... it was so unnecessary, these 2 spins. And then, well, I mean, overfueling the car, well... 3 pretty bad mistakes we made this race. Not a nice end to a season, honestly, that has been so well to us. But, well, it is what it is now. Around the final 2 corners we go. We're not close enough to make a move against Tsuchiya. I have a little thought about it, but no way. Jose, as we cross the line in P17 to finish this season on a low, actually. But let's still look at the point scorers of this race, and indeed it was a terrible afternoon for the entire BMW Works team, McLarens. Even Steve Soper missed the points, but it is another win for Bernd Mailänder, who finishes just ahead of Thierry Boots and Ralf Kellernas, who makes it a Porsche double podium, but in a privateer Porsche actually. Pedro Lamy finishes 4th, and then it's the 2 other Mercedes CLKs in 5th and 6th. Well, and then these are the final results of this season, actually. We win the championship, we already knew that, after Mugello. Boutsen finishes 2nd, 20 points still behind us, despite the last 2 races going absolutely horrible for us. Ben Mailander finishes 3rd, ahead of Ben Schneider in 4th. The team's championship, Team BMW Motorsport, wins the championship. We already knew that after Sebring. Porsche just hangs on to 2nd ahead of the Mercedes Works team. Schubel Rennsport overtakes David Price Racing, who finishes 5th. Good season for these 2 painters. Golf Team Davidoff, very disappointing season as they only finished 6th. And then it is all sorts of privateer entered cars, except for Nissan Motorsport, who finished this season with the 1 point Martin Brundle scored at Sebring. And that has been it with the FIA GT Championship 1997. Well, a new non-Formula 1 season will start in 2 weeks' time. Subscribe to not miss that one. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video and this series. And I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.